Okay, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu shahakol niyeh b'dvorei.
Lachem.
Amen.
L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim v'bracha. Okay. To see everybody nice and early. Okay, continuing with our mimer. So what is it about Sarah that she fixed, excuse me, that which Chava Eve failed, that which Noah also failed, to have a true sense of what we call simcha. Simcha means joy, a real, my wife's name, joy. So they failed. She failed with the tree of knowledge and good and evil. She had self-awareness of the goodness of the tree for herself, for her own self-benefit. And Noah, he became he became shikr. He became intoxicated with the wine. So he became not self-aware, right, as being intoxicated, but he became it came from what we call yeshus. Yeshus means feeling self and focused on the feeling of self, as opposed to Sarah, who also went down in the challenge. You know, I'm just thinking, and this is my own thoughts because it's not really explained in the Mimer here, but think about Noah for a second. He's saved, loses his wife in being saved. She turns into a pillar of salt after they flee from Sodom and Gomorrah. There's only left him and his two daughters. And there's a sense that they're the only remaining humans on Earth. Now, why Noah kind of felt that, I'm not certain, because it was only Sodom and Gomorrah that got destroyed. It wasn't, the world didn't get destroyed. It wasn't. Sorry, what am I saying? Sodom and Gomorrah. Why did I say that? My talking about Noah. That was Lot. Right. Uh, that was Lot and his daughters, right? The nephew of Abraham. No, after the flood, and so you could say it was kind of depressing. It's just his wife, because Lot also became shikr, became intoxicated. Noah became intoxicated, and Ham saw, told his, yeah, told his two older brothers, and they went backwards and covered him, right? But just imagine after destruction, what kind of, you know, after, think about it, after a Holocaust, after an October 7th, after, such destruction. So you want to bury your sorrows. So you drank. Now, of course, that means because you're feeling your sorrow. And I'm just giving some kind of explanation to his failure. Um, and the mimer's not saying this, but just to maybe give a little more color commentary, so we can have a greater appreciation. So yeah, you went down for the challenge, and you didn't come up with what was needed to be met with. And like, who could blame someone after the Holocaust? That they have nightmares, and it's hard to go on, and they took to drinking, right? Who would blame anybody for that? Wouldn't blame anybody for that, but it's still a failure, right? It's still a failure that he got drunk. He wanted to bring joy after, destruction. But since it was from a sense of, I guess, sorrow, or as a sense of feeling your own yourself, and not in a healthy way, not with bittul, not with self nullification. Comes Sarah, and she fixes it all. Also, in Chava, as the verse says, she saw the fruit and it was good. The tree was good. Good is a subjective, personal judgment. Truth is objective. The truth is that it was the Garden of Eden, where God's presence was very clear, palpable, and she personally just felt the goodness of the tree of knowledge and good and evil. Um, that and again, I'm adding something here. It's not in the mimer, but that it's good that it's good for me, and that brought joy. So um, that's not bittul. That's not joy. That it's coming from a healthy, self-effaced way. The tree is going to give me joy. Something outside of me is going to give me. There's hot water there. That's not real joy. No one's going to give it to you. You give it yourself. As joy, simcha, is a state of mind, a state of being, not and this tree is giving it to me, or a drink is going to give it to me. Comes Sarah, and she fixes it. Sarah is the embodiment of Malchus, as her name is Sarah, princess. And the idea of Malchus is bittel. Malchus means royalty. And even though it sounds so counterintuitive, probably there's no king that you know that is self-effacing. Hey, they got the power. They got the might. So it's always about them and their power and their might and their will being fulfilled. And that's the concept of Malchus, first of all, above, and a true king down here below. As Mashiach is called a king, the ultimate in self-effacement and being only but a reflection of the divine, an embodiment of the divine. So Malchus, this is the last of the 10 divine attributes, has nothing of its own. As a king has nothing of its own, everything is given to him is from above. And a real king senses that they are just but a reflection of the divine. Like the moon has got no light of its own, all it is a reflection of the sun. That's all it is. So she has, through her, she's able to make the, the fixing of previous generations because of the bittul that she's an embodiment of. Therefore, she went down, but the descent didn't keep her down. She had from there an ascent to a greater place. Because whereas he went down, Noah, right? After a destruction of the world, after, now he's got a new world order, he's got but he didn't come up, he failed. But when Malchus goes down, the only reason it goes down is in order to have an aliyah. Now we're talking about Malchus the way it is above. Remember, she's the embodiment of it, but now we're speaking of the way it is in the divine order. So Malchus comes down in order. Why does it go down? Because what does Malchus do? It goes, right? It goes from Malchus of Atzilus goes down. It's the lasso. It's the power that goes into the next world. It's going down below itself. But it's doing that in order to bring a refinement of the holiness that's found in a lower level and to help it to ascend. That's what a king does. He goes down to the people in order to help the people who are, compared to the king, don't have. So he's there to help them in order to help them ascend to a higher place. By the way, this would be a great way to look at any leader, which Malchus is the concept of leadership, royalty, right? Say you have nothing of your own, and your whole purpose to go down to those who are lesser level, right? They're lesser than you. You're the king. You're the leader. They're lesser than you. Right? The whole reason you're going down is to help those who have less than you, to help them ascend to a higher or greater place. So that's actually what happened in a physical sense. Avram and Sarah, they went to Egypt physically. That's going down. But they went in order to have an ascent. As the verse says, Avram went up from Egypt, right? Didn't say he left Egypt. Yeah, he went up. Him and his wife. And as the verse says that he was extremely wealthy with cattle, with silver and gold. And the reason why he was wealthy is because it was done to Avram because of her, because of his wife. And through this, right, is the whole story. Went down to Egypt, say, you're my sister, and then they'll do good for me. She explains, like, how could he think about that at that time? Well, because that was the whole point to go down, is there in order there should be a greater ascent. And that was reflected in a physical sense of greater wealth, let alone a spiritual sense. And through this, she merited to eternal, supernal life until the life is of her own. In other words, that she feels it's her life, meaning the Malchus has such a bittul, such a self-effacement, that even that which is of hers, her accomplishment, her greatness, she didn't feel that. It's not what she felt. Wow, look what I accomplished. Such wealth for the family. Going down to Egypt, Pharaoh wasn't able to lay a hand. Look how great I am. No, or great joy that it brought. So in Avodah, what does that mean? No, there was no sense of self greatness, even reflection on, like, oh, look what I accomplished. What joy that brings. Being that Malchus is the aspect of bittul, essential bittul, therefore, even that which was something of that is meant to be felt, she didn't make it about her. So that means in Avodah, that joy that is revealed, yeah, it's a celebrative time, and you're full of joy. Still with bittul. That joy is with bittul, meaning it's not as a result of, look what I accomplished, look what I did. Right? Because that's all taking from something. Something's giving me, the tree's giving it to me. Right? Or the sorrow of my life, so I got to drown it, So it's my circumstance it's creating. Bittul is no, it's coming from you. Hey, it's called Jewish chutzpah that we're talking about. And therefore, there's not a possibility that something bad's going to come from it. It's not coming from anything outside of me. So, like, the fact that I have wealth, so I don't, you know, oh, not it. It's an internal thing. That's bittul. And that's what it's going to be. Time to come Mashiach, which we'll talk more about. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Thank you, Rebecca.
I just like more to bring about that. That's chutzpah. Chutzpah that's coming because you're feeling most people have chutzpah, so feeling they're feeling themselves, and I'm important, and therefore I stand up because you're important. It's important. So you have chutzpah. Whatever it is, it's important. And therefore you stand strong for it. Because I got self-importance. I feel my self-value. Not to say that we don't have value and we don't, but that's not what you're feeling. Okay, more to come.